Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to week 11 of our 12-week TLS coaching session. And tonight we are going to be assessing our results and basically just going back at what we've gone through for the last 10 weeks in terms of the bulk of what we've learned about the 4 pillars of the transition lifestyle system weight management solution, as well as having a bit of what we call measure, monitor, adjust, and then finding out what we've gone through so far and where we've been and where we are, and uh, moving ahead where we want to be. Because obviously, there might be some of you who have already reached your weight management and wellness goals. Others may not be yet, but it doesn't matter because, when we first started, when we set the goals, some people set it for these 12 weeks. Others gonna look at till, let's say, the end of the year, or some others even till next year. So it doesn't matter where you're at. What I'd like to do, though, through this particular week is to have a bit of discussion with each and every single one of you to realize, where you're at in assessing and evaluating your results. So hopefully, with the last 10 weeks, you're now already thinking, behaving, and acting differently, and that you have decreased your waistline and have more energy, reduce your body fat percentage and weight, and you're starting to love your body if you didn't before, while your metabolism improves. And so what we are focusing on tonight is to assess how you've been doing, so that you can find out what's the best way forward, and also to document how far you've come. And from this point on, because next week is already the last week of this program, what is the best point of action? So before we continue on, maybe we will just go through one by one. If you can spend about 30 to 60 seconds to share with the rest of the team how you've been doing, and in terms of whether you're happy with the reduction of your weight, body fat, your centimeters or inches, in terms of energy and metabolism, etc. So I'll just go through from the top to the bottom according to, I've got the people here. So the first person I see is Simon. Simon, I've just muted you. Maybe you can just give us a bit of your report and assessment on how you've gone in terms of your results.
I haven't had because I've got to book in to have a scan done.
Okay.
I bought 2 from the gym that I was training from.
Yeah.
And I can get that done, and then I'll be able to get it updated. I haven't updated it since the last time you've seen it.
Okay, that's fine. So as far as you know, obviously I understand last you saw me was probably about 3-4 weeks ago. You actually, since the start of this program, have lost about 16, 17 kilos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that wasn't too bad because, obviously with the amount of incidental exercises and the food that you eat, I think you've been doing quite well. So if you can actually try and get the last of your 3 scan done, hopefully by next week, then before the end of this program, we can see how we can move forward. Is that all right, Simon?
Yep, that's fine.
Right, thank you. Okay, so Eleanor, obviously you've already reached your weight management goals, but as a coach, perhaps you can share a little bit about your experience so far in terms of the results of the last 10 weeks of perhaps just even your experience of being a coach.
Yeah, I'm happy that most people in the groups, they are doing well, especially in preparing the meals, healthy and colorful, rainbow color, with varieties of vegetables and proteins. They always cook very well food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually yeah, very happy about the food they present every day.
Yeah.
And exercise because but I still want them to share more about what exercise they do.
I agree.
Yeah, I know they yes, some of them they have a very good routine to always do the exercise, but yeah, if they can share more that can inspire others as well, that will be good. And yeah, because I remember last when I'm doing the last group with you, and when one people do the exercise, say, "Oh, I have done this in the morning," and the other also catch up, say, "Oh, I also did this." It's actually people will be inspired and be motivated when someone is sharing and what they do. Yeah, and
I agree. Yes.
journal, yeah, just a few people share the journal. If more people can share the journal so that we know what challenge they have, and also what they have done good for themselves, that will be good. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Thank
far
you.
they have done very well.
Yeah, fantastic. Appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you also as my fellow coach. You've been extremely encouraging and supportive and giving a lot of guidance as well. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. So Elsie, how are you doing? I've just unmuted you.
I think, hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, I don't think I'm a good one. And number one, and most of time, I do not follow the meal plan. And also, I have not done the exercise regularly. But all this are my fault, I know.
Right. So based on what you've done in the last 10 weeks, what would have been some of the things, Elsie, that you think you can do better moving forward? Obviously, the past is gone. It doesn't matter. And as we always say, life gets in the way. We follow the wagon and we have our own fault. But then obviously we can always learn to improve. Moving forward, I would recommend that you perhaps do some more, say 21 days, or even the coaching with Eleanor, working more closely together with her so that she can support you, and so you can reach your wellness and weight goals. That will be awesome, Elsie. Okay.
Yeah, I think after this program, probably I would continue to work with Eleanor. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. I would appreciate you walking and working alongside her, because Eleanor is a great coach that she can continue supporting you. Hey.
Yeah. Sure.
Bless you. Okay, so next, Aurora. Hello, Aurora. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I'm late. I just got home from work.
I see. That's no problem. We were just talking about assessing results. So far, obviously, we've done the bulk of this program already, and so today is basically just a matter of assessing, how we each feel that how much we've done. So, what do you think, in terms of your results so far with this particular program so far?
It's pretty good, and of course, it does take commitment. Is also what I find is good because it tackles a lot of, like you said, managing stress. It makes you go inside yourself and take accountability as well, which is really good. Not unlike all those diet programs and that, because you actually feel like, you're accountable for what you eat, what you put in your body. That's what I thought. And it makes you realize that it's got consequences. So
yeah, I agree. There's a lot of times
sleeps and it's all in the one too, because it's not just like the gratitude, being grateful.
Yes.
It's also doing mindful eating, which is a big difference to just like relaxing, and that the taking time to actually enjoy what you eat, and kind of like a meditation while eating. Yeah, That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so glad, Aurora, you picked that up, because that's not something throughout my few years of being a coach, a lot of students understood that, and you do, because many people just think of this as, eating, exercising, but they don't really focus on the improvement or assessing how their mindset, their mentality, their behavior modification, the mindfulness and all that. So for you to be able to bring this up as part of assessing and evaluating your result, I really feel that you have what it takes to be a good coach in the
Because
future.
I feel guilty because I know I've read that book, like You Are What You Eat.
Right.
So yeah,
Yes.
and it takes a lot also about our background and culture. So living in Western world and taking that all in from when we were little, we just kind of told what to eat, not really realizing, is it good for us or is it because our parents gave us that food? But it makes us more wonder what when we were brought up. Yeah, so it's a lot of education for me as well.
So, Aurora, have you been doing your health management record or measuring of your centimeters and body?
Yeah, I've been really, as I said, the last 2 weeks have been really chaos at work.
Yep.
Because we're understaffed and working long hours. But I think last week I haven't done my measurement, and today I'm gonna do one.
Yep. Okay.
I noticed yesterday, which is quite odd. I slept all day, didn't go out anywhere, and I just listened to my body, and I just slept. I didn't even go to church. And then when I woke up, I thought, oh, okay, I'll go in the weights, and I actually lost a kilo just by, sleeping and just relaxing and not stress and catching up on sleep.
Yes. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listening to your body is an extremely important part of self-love and self-care. So it's good that you listen to your body. But if I can please get you before the end of next week, do the
I will.
Yep. And send it either to me, or if you don't mind sending to the group. Yep. Awesome.
I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay, good. And thank you for sharing, Aurora. And next, okay, we've got another fellow coach, Heidi, there. Heidi, how have you been doing?
I'm okay. I guess, I've learned so much during this 12, 11 weeks.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kitty, for guiding your guidance, and Eleanor for her forever producing knowledge. And I've actually learned how to listen to more people about what their concerns are, and then able to better apply to the situation, or better utilize the knowledge that I've learned over during the months, these few months.
Yes.
And so I mean, and these last 11 weeks have helped me consolidate my knowledge in the whole program, which is good, because the first time you go through it, you just missed a few things.
Yes.
And then this time it's more like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I know.
Missed a few things. So I think every time you read or listen or watch the video, you've got something new.
Always.
And, so which is a good thing. And as far as my neat little health journey, this 12 weeks, although I didn't lose a lot of weight, but I noticed that my BMI has gone down quite a bit. My waistline have gone down quite a bit. And I know that because I'm in that stage where the last 5 kilos, which is the actual fat, the last bit, I knew that it would be harder if without exercises. So I guess with the weather getting warmer, I will be able to do some more exercises to get rid of those last few kilos to achieve my goal, my ultimate goal. So but then, I mean, yes, I'm relying a lot on food, but then I think that's when weight wise I haven't lost much, but I mean still fat, still about nearly about 4 kilos all up. So but then all the other areas of my body has improved quite a lot to which is the ultimate goal that we want to achieve too. Not just weight. So yeah, that's where I am, and I'm very thankful for everybody's being here, and you know, be there and be part of our little journey. Like, and I'm very proud that I'm also here to witness everybody's progress as well.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. I mean, you've been obviously instrumental in being part of the leadership of this group as well, and the fact that you know, you've been setting a great example, and also you have understood the important concept that is not only just about the numbers on the scale, but like you mentioned, you know, the centimeters, your BMI and all that is equally as important, if not more, in fact, you know, than just the numbers on how many kilos and all that. So well done. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Okay, so next, well, we've got Liwa and Stella. Both of you actually have already reached your weight. Well, you sort of, you know, in a healthy weight already, doing continued commitment. Perhaps you can just share 1 or 2 tips on how you maintain your weight, if you like. So maybe Liwa, you want to get sharing?
Oh, okay, Kitty. I really appreciate the program. It taught me a lot of, you know, a lot of things, especially on choosing food, you see.
Yeah.
And then the discipline. Yeah, discipline is very important.
Yes.
You know, and then the type of food that we, you know, that we eat. You know, now at least I learn like what do we mean by low GI.
Yeah.
See? Then from that end we will select, you know, try to select, you know, try to eat as, you know, as frequent as possible on the low GI to keep in order to maintain, you know, our sugar level at a consistent level rather than, you know, keep it spiking, all this, you see. So I find it, you know, after that I find it very great. I have more energy now, you see.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah, so cut down a lot on all those carbs already. Yeah.
Wow, there you go. And I know that obviously, like, your weight is already good and your body fat percentage, like, one thing that I really want to applaud you and say, I really appreciate to you, Liwa, is that even though you only just got your journal, right, from Lily, but you know, that didn't stop you from recording and sending your report of how you went with your journaling through an Excel spreadsheet, which something that I really adore, because I know I've actually have only been working with, apart from you, 3 more students from Malaysia. Of course, in Malaysia, you haven't got that journal, yet you're the only one that have ever done, you know, report. But from looking at your results, you really definitely are healthy in your body fat percentage, and your waistline has decreased into a really good numbers. And as you mentioned, your energy level has gone up, and you constantly eat healthy as well as doing exercises. And so I know that your goal is still to improve your muscle mass, but you know, it's just not a matter of if, but when it will happen, because of your discipline and commitment, Liwa. So
yes. And one more question, Kitty.
Yep.
In order to reduce, you know, the fat,
Yep.
possible for me to, you know, to take the supplement?
Yes, body fat percentage. You don't have trim tea over there in Malaysia, do you?
No.
No.
We don't.
Trim tea definitely can help, but otherwise, what sort of global TLS do you have? CLA?
No, we can't buy anything from global right now.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
So what I can do is, you know, either buy through Hong Kong or Singapore.
Yes, you can possibly buy through Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong they do have trim tea, Liwa.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I would recommend trim tea for you, but mostly because you are not really, your body fat percentage is healthy. I know that you want to reduce it to, you know, even more fitness level. It's not absolutely necessary for you to actually have trim tea or even supplements if you are able to do more exercises to a point, not just cardio, more, you know, targeted exercises, you know, that might help you. So if you want to try a combination of trim tea and that, I think that will definitely help you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Liwa. Appreciate it. Okay. And finally, Stella, how are you doing?
Hi, Kitty. I'm good, thanks. Just now I was having a bit of problem with the audio. I don't know
Audio,
why.
no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Oh, good now.
Yeah, yeah. So
So last
progress.
10 weeks since you attended my TLS 101, 201, how has that been?
Yeah, it's very beneficial, even though I'm not like heavy or
You're not
on the
overweight,
heavy
yeah.
side. Yeah, but it has been a very good program because every week we learn different things, how to de-stress, how to eat, and what are the good carbs and what are the bad carbs,
Yes.
So I still love my chocolate, so I will try to eat the dark ones nowadays and not like every day.
Yes, no problem. Good.
Yeah, like a few three times maybe a week.
Yes.
And then I will take sometimes I feel guilty and then I'll go back to my nuts.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, that's okay. I mean, if you're already in your healthy weight, which you are, and body fat percentage, 80-20 rule with the continued commitments means that, you can have 20% of the time eating, food that like chocolate and sweet stuff is not a problem at all.
I don't really eat the
Too
I
sweet.
mean chips and young too sweet stuff, but I like the chocolates here. Like when I was living in Malaysia, I never touched chocolate because it's not nice.
Okay, but the chocolate here is nice. Yeah, that's
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good then. Just keep on going because I know that obviously you have a few people lined up that we can co-coach together in the next program. And so while I'm at it, every single program that I run, I encourage at least 2 people that are in the program that have ever done my TLS 101, 201 to be my apprentice or trainee coach in the next program, just like in this one with Heidi and Eleanor. So far I've got Stella. So I'm just wondering if there is anyone else. I know Aurora will have Sandra's husband and others. So maybe Aurora, would you like to be doing the next one alongside again?
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. Okay, then because I know because you're in Perth, you haven't officially got the coaching certificate, then it's sort of a bit different situation. But we can talk offline about how we're going to work with that. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's just get into the content for today. Before we do that, just go back to today's agenda. Is anyone on this group have a chance to watch last week's video about managing stress? If you have, you can either unmute yourself to share what you've learned, or you can just type it in the Zoom group chat. I've started, actually today was day 1 of the 21-day self-care challenge. And in my Facebook group, which is, I type it here in the group chat, TLS Coach, Weight Loss and Wellness. Now, guys, if you haven't joined that Facebook page, I would encourage you to join that, because even after this 12 weeks, I constantly post information there that you can actually learn from. And from there, from today, for 21 days, I'm going to be posting different things that will help you manage your stress and also self-care as well. So maybe if I can have a couple of you either share if you've watched the managing stress video, 1 or 2 points that you've learned, or if you know of any self-care tips that you can share. Anyone? Is there any volunteer? No one? All right, well, maybe I'll just change the topic to, if you've experienced stress this week, how did you overcome it? Anyone at all on this group has experienced stress for the last 7 days?
I'm actually experiencing it right now.
Okay, Aurora, tell us about it and how did you overcome it? Yeah.
I actually just have to be mindful that this is, the stress is only like temporary.
Good.
I have to learn how to breathe first and how to tackle my anxiety. So because the more we feel like, oh yeah, this is happening, this is stress, but you know, I take time now to breathe, and that's when I can actually put oxygen in my brain, and I can breathe better and think better. And also trying to get a lot of sleep, that helps as well. I know I'm not doing too well, but I'm catching up, like on as much as I can. I'm doing like little nana naps when I get home.
Yeah.
But yeah, and listening to my body, as I said before, because no one knows your body like you do. So
that's so true. That's so
yeah.
true. Yeah, I'll just quickly share a little bit about what came about when I started planning the original 21 days of self-care challenge. It was because I remember probably about 5 or 6 group program before this one, because I've done many 12-week or 8-week program like this with TLS. We've always done 21 days detox, as well as the fat burning, which every one of you have been through, or most of you anyway. With that, I realized that most people find the physical part of the challenge of weight management is important. But as we've talked about, the different components of our TLS is the 4 pillars, right? One of the pillars is definitely about the mindset. And I realized, yes, even though we had 1 week about managing stress, which was the week from last week, I see that many of my clients, actually as biggest complaints is about stress, because stress is one of the factors, causing people to feel uneasy, of course, and also about, weight gain or being stagnant. Stagnant means plateau, that you don't actually lose weight. And it's nothing to do with the food or exercise even, but because of stress. And it's one thing that everyone suffers from, of course, stress is very common. And feeling overwhelmed is a state of being, and it has to do with how you manage our time and our energy than the actual content in our lives. So I mean, we all experience things that come at us, right? But then I remember I started then doing this self-care challenge through a big campaign where I sent out daily emails and Facebook group and all sorts of different things that really I gathered together, both from my psychology studies, from my coaching studies, and my what I've written in my book as well. And so I realized that after people doing this self-care challenge, they've been able to lose weight, which was very, very interesting, because even though I knew that, stress is one of the 5 factors, which alongside stress is about, of course, sedentary lifestyle, if you don't move, or, unhealthy food, engineered food, and etc. So then I find that when people are feeling overwhelmed, just like I did, and I used to feeling overwhelmed and stressed and pressured easily, then exactly like what Aurora said, I learned about deep breathing, relaxing, and praying and resting. All that really helped me. And recent years, particularly, the focus of my life has been learning about mindfulness. And in fact, I've written a chapter about mindful living in my book, Juggling Health and Wealth. And I've always been someone that wants to achieve things that I set my goals. Since I was young, growing up, seeing my father, as a wealthy and successful businessman, taught me the values of determination, hard work, and courage. But also because of that, I get stressed so easily when I feel like, I am discouraged because I don't meet my goals. So anyway, long story short, I find that self-care has been instrumental in helping me with my stress, and whether it's, my body stress, my emotional, mental, and chemical, and all that kind of thing. So as a result, I started doing my very first self-care challenge a few years ago now. And that started off this whole program. Since then, every single time when I do this 12 weeks or 8 weeks, I always have a self-care challenge. So today, again, I mentioned, is the first day of my self-care challenge, which if you go into my Facebook page, TLS Coach dash Weight Loss and Wellness, you can follow that day by day. If you just want to read it, or if you want to give me any response in comment, you're welcome as well, because I believe that those will help you manage your stress. All right, so I can see that there are a number of you that have typed in certain things about stress. Let's have a look. Right. So Elsie said that I'm always under stress, particularly to meet the due dates of project. Yeah, that's certainly something that we all experience whenever we have due dates, you know, or project that has a deadline. We always feel stressed. Simon, I have been learning about sensory therapies and doing exercise. Yeah, fantastic. And if these are the things that can help you, certainly will continue to do it, you will, you know, get a lot more relaxed. And Elsie also loves to listen to music. Me too. And Heidi, have fun and talk to my kids. I know, even I feel relaxed when I play with your kids, Heidi. Stella, there are 3 types of stress: emotional, physical, and chemical. Exactly. That was what we went through last week in our session, as well as on the video. Stress can cause weight gain, and there are 7 steps to elevate stress. And in order to reduce stress, that is to do exercise, music, relaxing, talking to friends. And I remember Stella is very good at painting as well. So I'm sure that if you paint, you will feel relaxed, right, Stella? And Aurora, when I don't have time to go to gym or Pilates class because of work overtime, make time to just walk or at least 30 minutes to meditate for a few minutes. That's a good way to go about it. And Liwa said, under stress, we tend to consume and select high-fat, salty, and sweet food. Oh, that's so true, Liwa, because as we mentioned last week, you know, people, when they are stressed, they don't go for broccoli or spinach, do they? They go for, you know, high-fat and salty and sweet foods. And it's really not, you're not the only one. In fact, Liwa, most people do that. So that's why if we are able to reduce stress, then the food that we eat tend to be healthier as well. Okay, so how about we then go through some of the things that as we assess results, we want to recap what we've learned for the last 10 weeks, okay? There are 4 pillars of the Transition Lifestyle System Weight Management Solution. The first one is low glycemic impact eating. Now, low glycemic impact eating is basically the type of healthy food choices with a focus on the glycemic impact. So what is glycemic impact? In fact, there are 2 different components to it. The impact includes the quality as well as the quantity. Quality is the index, which is based on the numbers. So 1 to 55 is low glycemic index, 55 and above will be medium, and then anything above 100 would be high GI, and they are not the best quality type of food, okay? And then quantity is, of course, the amount of food that we eat, and that is a glycemic load. So we gave the example when we talked about the low glycemic impact eating, and that is, you know, if you have a lot of, you know, carrots as opposed to M&Ms, but then if you eat a lot more carrots, then, you know, the loading may mean that, you know, the quality, even though it is good, it's still not the best. So all of that actually impact our weight loss and wellness goals, which is something we need to be aware of. Then number 2 is body composition. It focuses on exercise and the importance of losing weight from body fat and visceral fat, not just losing muscle mass and water mass, because a lot of times if we don't actually do exercise and we may drink less water, then, you know, it's not healthy, and we may be losing muscle also. Then, you know, even though the weight is reduced, that is not the healthiest way of losing weight. So because there is this saying, muscle dictates metabolism, particularly lean muscle mass and fat storage. So when you are losing weight, you also need to look at, again, your waist, your inches, right? Your as well as you know, how fitting your clothes are, as well your body composition, as we mentioned, the visceral fat, your body fat percentage, you know, water percentage, muscle mass, etc. Then number 3 of our 4 pillars of TLS is scientific supplementation. If you can use scientifically studied ingredients, then it can help us to support, you know, our body and help us reach our goals. And it's important to remember that all supplements are not created equally. Fortunately, all of the TLS supplements are fully backed by science, which is why so many people reach their goals the right way using the TLS supplements, whether it's the isotonic products as well as the global products that we talked about. And education also is, as we've talked about just now, the mindset, the behavior modification, and the concept about our positive thought pattern, stress management, including what is required physically and mentally to change our habits and develop new habits that will last a lifetime. So that's why when we're talking about TLS, T is the transitions, which is moving from one state to another. L is lifestyle, which is basically not just a short period of time, is a change of lifestyle, and it's a system that we can follow for a lifetime. So that is why it's very important that it's not just a fat diet, it's a lifestyle change. Important to understand that. So remember, all of our lives are a journey and not just a destination. Your life journal, your life journey, sorry, not journal, journey can be reviewed in your progress. So if you can measure, monitor, and adjust how your life is going in terms of how your progress is, in terms of your weight loss and wellness, then you'll be able to see how you're doing. So if you say to yourself, well, this last 10 weeks, I have been you know, not following the menu plan. I have not been doing exercises. I've been tempted by eating unhealthy foods, and I, you know, have not been doing journaling. As everything that we've shared that would be helpful for you through the TLS system. And even just going back to the 4 pillars, and if you haven't been focusing on, you know, choosing healthy food or exercising, supplementation, and even attending the coaching session or listening to the audio or video, then, you know, of course, then it will be revealed in your result that your weight loss is not there. And so moving on, obviously it's already, the past is the past. You cannot change anything, and the future is not here yet, and the present is now. That's why we call it a gift, right? So that's why I want you all not to be, you know, I suppose regretting the past because you can't change anything, but from now on, if you need to be redoing this coaching with your coach or myself, then do it. You know, if you feel like this is not enough yet, then restart your TLS, even just with some of the people that have already done that this week. Your 21-day or the detox is very important. Moving on, reflect on the areas that you can improve on and commit to. So these are the 5 things below that I would definitely recommend that you do regularly, which I've been sharing almost every week in our Zoom coaching session. First is to journal regularly, because as you journal, then you know how you're going by measuring, monitoring, and adjusting, whether it's the type of food that you eat, how much water you drink, how many hours of sleep, your mindset in terms of what you're grateful for, what sort of me time and things that you do for yourself, and also what sort of you know, obstacles that you need to overcome and how you plan to overcome them, and your goals for the next day, etc. So this journal definitely can help you. And of course exercises as well. If you can actually always take time out to do exercise depending on your exercise plan, then you will definitely see an improvement. Always eat protein and fiber at every meal. Makes weight loss no big deal, right? Including snacks. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the snacks including like the nutrition shake that we talked about has 12 grams of protein and 10-11 grams of fiber. That definitely will help you too. Drink enough water, minimum 8 glasses or 2 liters. And many of you, when you share your daily journal, you sometimes don't drink enough water, because water is important to actually help us to flush down our toxins in the body. But not only that, it can help us lose weight as well and give us that fullness of feeling, let's say, before you go for a meal. And of course, taking the supplementations that is scientifically backed will help you with whether it's hormonal issues, whether it's issues with your stress, etc. It's very, very crucial to understand that, you know, it's not only just about a certain type of supplements, but each individual will be different depending on your profile. So work on your TLS coach or your own website, a TLS website, and go back to your profile. There is a TLS weight management profile. After next week, redo it again, depending on your goals, to see what is the best profile for you. And I would say for most of you, it would be a good time for you to resume your 21 days or detox, because normally we recommend every 3 months you do a detox. But if you're already quite healthy, like I know with Liwa and Stella, you probably don't need to do detox again. Then continue with your continued commitment, and then in another 3 months, I generally, like I'm also in continued commitment, once every 6 months, it's good to do your detox anyway. And then finally, progress and change your body and your mind. You keep at looking at how you're doing to be mindful and conscious about the energy level that you experience, your stress level, the quality of sleep, and feelings about yourself. Because as Aurora said very well, listen to your body, but not only just your body, listen to your mind as well, because your mind is actually the area that dictates your thoughts. Because, you know, if you have a positive thinking mindset, then, you know, you'll be able to handle stress a lot better than if you don't. And I know that I'm guilty at times that when I get into a negative mindset, then my energy level will go down, my stress level will go down as well, and I don't sleep as well. I don't feel good about myself as well. So that's why, you know, listening to your body and your mind by being mindful and conscious about how you're feeling. And another really important thing is, you know, go and share with your good friend, your coach, your spouse, whoever that you trust, is also another very important thing. And never bottle up, because if you bottle up and you feel stressed, and then, you know, it's not good for your health, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and psychologically as well. So it's important. All right. So the other thing is to go through what we've done in the last 10 weeks is to jumpstart your success through a clean start of the 7-day detox, how to improve your metabolism, how to read labels, exercise, planning and dining out, nutrition, including, of course, the scientific supplementation of the isotonic detox, isotonic products and cocktail and or trim tea, you know, core, etc. And believing in yourself. Now, the last 4 are what we call the mindset side of our behavior modification, including healthy habits, you know, set good habits, believing that you can do it, and overcoming obstacles and managing stress. So as you can see, out of the 9 topics, you know, the last few are mindset related, which is actually 30 to 50%. And if you look at the food component, it's about, you know, the reading labels, you know, planning and dining out, and nutrition, you know, is 30%. And then improving metabolism and exercise constitutes the other 20%. So if you were to look at, the 4 pillars of our transition lifestyle system, you would know that, the mindset, the understanding of your psychology with food is equally important as the combination of exercise and food. So that's why for people that are not reaching their weight goals or wellness goals, you may say that, oh, I've been eating healthy and I may be doing exercise, but then if you don't have discipline, you don't have commitment, you don't create healthy habits, you're tempted by unhealthy foods or habits, or you don't have belief in either the system that you're learning from TLS, yourself, or even your coach, and if you don't overcome obstacles, meaning when temptations come your way, obstacles come your way, you just give in and give up, follow the wagon, and you don't want to come back, then it's very difficult for you to reach your weight loss goals. Okay, and obviously, as we mentioned, managing stress is a big piece of the puzzle. Hence, even though this is already the end of the program, I still take extra time out to be posting and sharing about the importance of self-care challenge, because I know how important it is for me, for you all as my clients and friends, and for people that I love, and of course my Facebook community as well. Okay, so then next is the 80-20 rule. What is 80-20 rule? Well, that is for those of you who have already reached your weight goals. Obviously, with this group, I see that not everyone has reached your weight goals within this week yet. However, for those that are, I would say you can 80% of the time, you can basically follow the continued commitment. Okay, 20% of the time you can give yourself a bit of indulgence, so to speak, or enjoyment. Have a bit of things that you like eating, but not overboard, of course. And that is what we call the Pareto principle. And that is in terms of exercises, in terms of food and weight management and wellness. That is the case. But 80-20 rule, Pareto principle applies to all other areas of your life as well. And I know that most people on this group are business owners as well. And with business owners, or even if you're not, 80% of the time you do what gives you result producing activities. And 20% of the time, then you can relax a bit for a period of time. Once you've been able to do that, then you'll be able to get great results. And that applies to every single part of your life. Okay, so even with friendship, relationship, marriage, 80% of the time you need to nurture and do things that are beneficial. 20% of the time you can actually not neglect, but then, do a bit of other things, right? Okay, follow the TLS way 80% of the time, 20% of the time, then you can enjoy, do other things as well. And it's a lifestyle. Okay, remember that you actually need to be following that as a lifestyle and not just a short-term thing. Once this program finishes, then you go back and eating unhealthy stuff. And remember that you are worth it, because if you don't feel like you're worth it, that you feel like you're not good enough and you don't believe in yourself, then it's very difficult, no matter how much encouragement, how much praising, how much pushing, how much challenging that you are given by the people around you, you will not be able to get the results, because it's you who needs to own it yourself. It's your own responsibility. So that's basically what I have for tonight. And I would like to ask you guys, with next week being the very last week, is there any particular things that you feel